Hey guys, I'm Brianna. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this channel revolves around mysteries, missing people, conspiracies, aliens, things that kind of fall under like the creepy category. So if you're into that kind of stuff when you're done watching this video, please go check out the other videos on my channel. Now quickly before we get into the video, I just want to say that at this moment I don't really have a regular uploading schedule, although I'd like to start having a regular uploading schedule. So for the month of January at least, I'm going to be uploading on Mondays and on Fridays. And I think on Mondays I'll do like mystery, missing people kind of videos, and on Fridays I'll do aliens and conspiracies. So look out for those coming on Monday and Friday. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into this case. Now this case is a little bit of a shorter one as there isn't much information about it online or really anywhere. But I did think that this case did need to be brought up to the surface and does need attention. And this is the strange disappearance of Dwayne Jackson. Cole was 33 at the time of his disappearance and disappeared on July 13, 2006. Now at the time of Cole's disappearance, he had gotten married in May, which is only 3 months previous to the day that he'd gone missing. And also at this time, him and his wife Kim had their first baby on the way, expecting to be born in October. On the morning of July 13, 2006, Cole went to visit his friend in Timpson, Texas. And when he was leaving his house, he told his family that he should only be gone for about 2 hours. After arriving at this friend's house, Cole and this friend had decided to go to Whataburger, which for those of you who do not know is a fast food chain in the States. And after arriving at Whataburger, I guess Cole's friend had gone into the washroom, at which time Cole had left Whataburger unexpectedly without telling his friend, without any explanation. He just left. So this is where things become a little bit scarier than they were before. So after leaving Whataburger unexpectedly without telling his friend, Cole had driven his car through a fence and crushed an older gentleman's garden. Now the older gentleman who owned the house had noticed and come outside and started talking to Cole, where Cole apologized profusely for running over his fence, and also promised the gentleman that he would come back the following day to give him $120 to repair the damages that he caused after crashing his car through the fence. But he also told the man, and I quote, "I have to go because the bad people are chasing me." And with that, Cole got into his truck and left. And that would be the last time that anybody ever seen Dwayne Jackson. This older gentleman who he had talked to, who was actually the last person that Cole had talked to, reported that Cole seemed really anxious and paranoid and nervous. Now Cole had said to the older gentleman that people were chasing him, and I think that if people were chasing me, I personally would be paranoid and nervous and anxious and scared, so if that is the case, that does make sense. Cole's truck, a 2003 Dodge half-tuned pickup, was found in Shelby, Texas on July 15th by his family. His truck was found with the back side door open, and the truck was still in four-wheel drive at the time that it was found. Also, when the truck was found, it was found that all of his inhalers were still inside the truck, which is in particularly odd because Cole had really bad asthma, and his family said that he does not go anywhere without his inhalers. And Cheyenne, Cole's sister, did call the police, and when they came out, they did investigate the car and said there didn't look to be a struggle. But not to discredit anybody, but the police in this case were said to have not done their best work and didn't investigate properly. Most of the work in this case is done by Cole's sister, Cheyenne Jackson. So after not getting much help from the police, Cole's family decided to go out and look for him in around the areas where they had found his truck. And so they were looking through the woods, and the only thing that, besides his truck, that was ever found of Cole was his sneakers, which had his wedding ring tucked inside. Now, I'm not really sure why the police weren't being much help in this case, but it is said on a couple places that Cole did have previous drug use. So maybe he got in trouble with the law, and that is why the police were kind of brushing this case aside. I'm really not sure. But something that really stood out to me that made me think like, what the heck, this is crazy, is when Cheyenne, Cole's sister, had asked the police if they could run phone records. It had already been after 30 days, and they said that they didn't know how, or they didn't know they were supposed to, which after reading cases like this quite often, I think you're supposed to do within the first 30 days, so Cole's phone records were never run. Besides his shoes and his truck and his wedding ring, which is inside the shoes, nothing of Cole's has ever been found. And there was only 2 leads that the family had actually got since Cole had gone missing. So after Cole was reported missing, a man had called his family and said that he had seen Cole walking around in another town, but the family didn't buy this theory and didn't look into it too much for reasons that we'll come back to in just a minute. But a second theory again was brought to the attention of Cheyenne Jackson, who is Cole's sister, and it was by a woman who had said that after Cole had gone missing, there was a man who was bragging about having murdered a man who fit Cole's description and had disposed of him in a vat of acid. Now, after hearing this, Cheyenne took this woman to the police and had her tell the police exactly what she had told Cheyenne about this man who was bragging about murdering somebody. And the police had looked into it, but Cheyenne said they didn't look into it as thoroughly as she would have hoped. And they kind of just said it was just some guy walking around bragging about a murder that he didn't commit. Now, seeing as this case didn't get much media coverage and it isn't really a big one in the public eye, there isn't very many theories on what could have possibly happened to Cole, but there is a few that I will touch base on. And the first one I'm going to touch base on is one that I don't believe personally, and that is that Cole had run away to start a new life. Now, this was brought to the attention of Cheyenne, I think, by the police and by the man who'd called and said that he'd seen Cole in a separate town, but I don't think that this is believable because at the state that Cole was in his life, he seemed to have finally been happy. He had just gotten married, he was expecting a baby, and his family really doesn't think that he had ran away to start a new life, as he was really happy to have a baby on the way and was really excited to meet his baby. So I just don't think that this case is one where he could have ran away to start a new life. The next theory that I'm going to touch base on does involve drugs, and it is said that Cole had previous drug involvement, but this particular theory involves him being addicted to meth. So this is that Cole's crazy acting and saying people were chasing him and his paranoia and whatever was from meth-induced psychosis. Now, this could very well be the case, but him being paranoid and having anxiety and a panic attack and things like that could also be due to many other things. In this particular case, I personally believe that the police should have looked a little bit more thoroughly into the man who was claiming to have killed Cole and disposed of his body in acid. And the reason that I think that is because I just don't understand how he just went missing. You know, maybe he owed him money for drugs, maybe he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, maybe it was something from his past, maybe he just pissed off the wrong people, you never know. But I personally think that the police should have looked into this guy a little bit more closely, because the way that it says in most of these articles and stuff that I had read online, that this guy was not looked into very thoroughly. On October 12th, 2006, Kim Jackson, Cole's wife, had given birth to a baby boy. And this case is so tragic right off the bat, but the fact that there is a little boy out there who may never know who his father is, doesn't know what happened to him, and doesn't know where he is, absolutely breaks my heart. But like I said at the beginning of this video, this case did not have a lot of media coverage and wasn't in the public eye very much at all. There wasn't very much information about it. It doesn't seem that this case was investigated very much. In fact, the last update that I had found on this case was from 2008, and it was just saying that there had still never been any developments in the case. So thinking about that, I'm thinking that this case will probably never be solved. But with any case like this, I hope that some piece of evidence is brought to light and that this family can get closure on what happened to their loved one. And guys, that brings us to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also comment below, as I love to see those. They really do brighten my day. And if you like these kinds of videos, please go check out the other videos on my channel and subscribe. And also, like I said before, I will be posting for the whole month of January on Monday and on Friday. So stay tuned for those, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye guys!